What? What are you doing here?
Well, apparently you decided to come to the country that I live in for, so I thought I'd come find you, and I found you just stalking at the edge of the River Thames in London.
And I tell you, how good is this view,
It's
Ricci?
quite nice, right? So for people who don't know, this building behind us is called the Shard.
Yes.
Pretty impressive. And we also, it might break through during this video, but we just had a wonderful moonrise as well.
I think it might.
Yeah.
Just above my head. I'm going to get a halo above my head.
Yeah.
What do I have here in my hand?
So, this is actually mine. I apologise, but it's mine.
I'm going to take it later.
But it's a production unit.
Yes.
It's more importantly, it's a production unit of the ZR, because the one that you've had previously and the ones that pretty much everyone has been handling so far have been sample units. And so this is now a full production unit, final firmware, kind of ready to go out the box. So it's good to see that the production units are now shipping. People will be able to pick them up. You mentioned earlier it's the 20th
In Australia?
Yeah. 16th is the date so far set for Europe. So it's slightly different depending on where you are.
And I've heard the 24th in some other regions.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
And can we talk about why the different? Because it's not always like that with.
No, there's a number of different reasons, and it just comes down to how each individual region is set for where their delivery are, how many units they have, different languages, as you may or may not know. Certain cameras from different regions have different languages dialed into them, so there's lots of things.
Well, we certainly speak a different language in Australia than you do here in the UK.
Yeah, I struggle to understand.
Yeah, I don't have any idea what Ricci just said there. All of that, if someone can let me know in the comments what he just said, that would be really helpful. Now, this is an exciting product.
Yeah.
We were going on a family holiday to the snowfields, and we're driving up what's called the Hume Highway, and I'm driving along, and I get a text message, and I say to I see it on my watch, and it's like, to my wife, I say, do you mind reading it to me? And it's a person who I've met through YouTube. His name is Mozman. We've become great friends behind the scenes.
I think I've seen him kind of commenting on you.
Yeah. He says, Nikon's bought RED. I almost crashed the car. We're doing like 120 kilometers an hour, and I'm like, and I start screaming, Nikon's bought, this is amazing. And I go on and on like this, and my family's just got no idea.
Yeah.
So that's when it all started. I think that was March last year.
Yeah, I mean, like from an internal point of view, no one knew.
Yeah.
So everyone equally had that kind of same level of shock. It was very secret.
Was there basically like an internal memo went out 24 hours before, or sort of thing? No. So literally, it was Japan, worldwide.
Yeah.
That's I mean,
there's like a few select people who knew what was going on as always, but it wasn't like with a normal product release, people have information about what's coming, especially like sales teams for retailers and stuff like that. But yeah, this was just like, by the way, this is public knowledge now. So yeah.
So from my perspective, who's someone who's been in this industry for 35 years, I've followed Sony and still own my Sony VX1000, which was a mini DV, watched Arri move to digital, and so on and so forth. This is genuinely a massive thing for a stills company to buy a world-renowned cinema company.
Yeah, and it's not a simple step. And when I speak to people about this product specifically, there's generally two camps. There's people who are like, this is really quick, and then there's some people who are like they thought this would have come sooner.
Yeah.
So some people either think that collaboration was going to kick something off straight away, or some people think they would have taken more time. So I think when it comes,
are we allowed to say, and this can be camera X?
Yeah.
If camera X is being designed from the ground, are we allowed to say how long that development cycle, like is it 3 or 4 years sort of thing?
Well, I mean, the development cycle is what we have as evidence of from when we bought RED to now.
In this case, yes. Yes.
So you have an idea of RED was purchased. The first thing was that we then had the RED LUTs for N-Log. Then we had Z mount on RED, and now we have ZR. So that's what's kind of happened over the past year and a half now.
Yeah.
Year and a bit. Yeah. That is effectively your development cycle
of this particular product.
Sure.
You're building a new sensor. You're building
a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So from my perspective, the fact that we've got anything RED is amazing.
I think that's also a testament to the teams on both sides working together. Yeah. So I've had the privilege of being able to interview effectively the Red team and the Nikon team, and their ability to work together was clear, and like they've been able to produce something in rapid time, and really excited about what that team is also going to produce going forward as well. It's like they work really well together.
Well, we've got LUTs, and that's a lot of code. We've got Z mount on Raptor and Komodo. That's a lot of engineering. That's electronics. That's hardware. That's those what is it, 12 or 13, 11 pins? How many do we have in this mount? I can't remember. Whatever those pins talking to a RED camera. So you've got to write all the code for that. Then you've got also the RED XE Raptor, which is a new version. That's mostly firmware, I would say, related.
But also, I guess the highlight is to reach that lower price point. So
well, they've halved the price. We've still got the same sensor. They're giving us the dynamic range and the globalness and the 8K-ness. And then we have this. And I tell you what was funny was that those two things dropped on the same day. Like, what the? Did everyone know that was happening on the same? I suppose some people knew.
I mean, like, the idea was it was around IBC, which you might not know about because IBC is a really big show in Europe, but there are people who visit from the US and from other places around the world. And so really the idea was that we wanted that impact for both of those launches at IBC. And IBC was one of the first places that you could see both of these, both those products in place as well.
So that was a big day. And for guys like me who didn't really know that that there was going to be a new RED as well, it was like, wow, we've got a lot of content to get out.
There was a lot of work up to that. It was a really busy time, kind of getting everything together, to not only from a content point of view in terms of the people that kind of tested it before, but there was media who saw it before. So there was a lot of work kind of involved up until the release day as well. So
also something else that may have been teased at the same time that you may or may not be able to talk about is, of course, we've got this silhouette of 4 new
cinema lenses.
Cinema lenses.
I did see that there was some people that were a bit unsure whether that was like an official announcement or not. But it's definitely like an official announcement. I mean, I guess the biggest takeaway and kind of what I can talk about is that Nikon are making Z Cinema lenses, which I appreciate doesn't tell you anything more than the announcement. But they're coming, which is exciting. But it's also, they're not just necessarily going to be Nikon lenses. There's also going to be collaboration from RED and from the cinema side who say, like, this is what a cinema lens needs to be. So it's not just going to be Nikon lenses with a Z Cinema badge on. The whole idea of Z Cinema is that it is a ground up collaboration between Nikon and RED and kind of bringing all of their technology together. So that's what I'm really excited about most, is seeing kind of what both of those companies can do when it comes to also making lenses, because we have one of the first bodies with that kind of mixture technology. Sure, it's very much a Nikon camera with RED technology inside of that, but I'd be interested to see what happens when it comes to lenses as well.
It's very exciting, and I have 5,000 questions, none of which you can answer.
Full length T-stocks, what they're going to look like.
All that sort of thing. PZ lens is obviously, I think pretty much from the marketing, it was sort of the first in the Z Cinema line. It isn't an S, it isn't a Plenar, it isn't a Noct.
It's part of the Z Cinema family. And I would see it as a video orientated lens. Sure, it might not be like a fully fledged cinema lens, but it's definitely a video orientated lens. And I think that also is a testament to what Nikon want Z Cinema to be. Sure, when you put the cinema name on something, people automatically think that means it has to be extremely high end, extremely polished. But I think that Nikon wants Z Cinema to cover everything from kind of vlogging and YouTube stuff to all the way up to cinema. And like the ZR is a good testament to that as well.
Can I make if it's appropriate to make this, we have Sony who has an FX line, and the FX line is their cinema video line, right? Well, the FX30 is and the FX3 are lesser cameras, yet that is their cinema designation up until you get to a Burano, and that thing is 40 grand or like way more than the Raptor XE.
I think we'll see in that Z Cinema family cameras that span that entire width,
of course,
and also lenses that span that width of video lens that isn't quite technically a cinema lens, but definitely has features that are useful for video, like the power zoom. And then obviously, like Nikon announced the full-blown cinema aspect as well.
Very important question. Will if you buy the set, will it come with a case?
Unfortunately, I don't have the answer to that.
And and if it does, it needs to be yellow, of course.
A whole like yellow pelly.
Yellow pelly, RGB 2250. It's got to be right. And I want it to have like Nikon like injection molded into it. Like,
do you want them to have like gold rings on it as well?
Well, do you know I was saying they were gold, and they were saying they were saying they were yellow.
Yeah.
Can you set the record straight? And then they pointed me to a website that said it was yellow, and I'm like, I physically have it. It looks gold.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say how people look at color because everyone sees color slightly differently.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they are technically a different color to like the traditional gold rings that we see on the front of like f-mount lenses.
Yes.
And so I think going forward, you'll and it's also a different material as well. Like anodizing the mount and also the back of the lens is different to putting a gold ring on the front of the lens. So
that's right. It was on the back as well. What's amazing to me about a ZR is the possibility it provides.
Yeah.
So it might not have time code, it might not have D-squeeze, it might not have whatever.
Sure.
But what does it have? And what it has is the ability for me to shoot with red raw, 12-bit, fully gradable. You know, you can take it away and you can change the white balance. You can get into that software. And it's the democratization of being able to shoot at a professional level. And this thing is, let's face it, in the States, it's going to be $19.99 USD before long on promotion because everything gets cheaper over time.
Sure.
Like, it's a hell of a lot of democratization in this product.
Yeah. They're all interesting points. And like I guess the main one to pick up on is you do have effectively red raw, it being a slightly different format with the R3D NE in a smaller, lighter body. And I guess really the question is that we've really seen from a lot of people is if I'm not using that red raw, so if we take the red raw kind of out of the equation, because obviously that's like the highlight specification. So a lot of the people that I've seen questions from have been saying, okay, I'm not going to use red raw, so what else is in this camera for me? And that's where things like the 32-bit float audio, the bigger screen, the size and weight of the body versus a camera that like we're filming on at the moment with a Z6 III, with like a viewfinder that you might not use as much because you've got the larger screen. So there are other things as well, but Nikon, for obvious reasons, have gone with that kind of highlight specification of the red raw is the highlight. But they're absolutely perfectly fine that you don't shoot in raw, I'm aware.
Well, not for YouTube, but I would for clients.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's like from a creator point of view, kind of like we were talking about in that previous question, there's people who just want to do kind of daily vlogging or daily YouTube content who don't need the raw, but they need the other stuff, like the 32-bit flow. So I have a question for you, Matt, and that is, you know, as someone who uses a lot of Nikon cameras and you also create a lot of video, I often look at your channel, I'm like, how have you created that many videos in like a day? But so from your point of view, does the ZR streamline things versus what you shoot on normally, like your Z6 III or Z8, like we talked about with the audio and stuff? Do you think that will make a difference to you on a day-to-day basis?
So the differences for me are, without question, 32-bit. So when you're getting out video as fast as possible, every single pain point you want to minimize.
Yeah.
So everything that you might have to repair and post, or you've got to do another take, everything that helps you with that. And this camera's full of it. So one, it's got a big screen. So further away, you can see more of what's going on.
Yeah. I'm sure there's been times where you've set up recorded and realized your focus is wrong.
And if you're on a Z8, you know, you can't flip that forwards. It has a tally light. So there's really, you know, in bright sunlight, you know that you're recording. Sound is
much sunlight here.
Well, you know, we are. Yeah. And by the way, this is the middle of the day in London. But that's
just overcast.
Yeah, it's just slightly overcast. 32, like sound is a big issue, and 32-bit float is just so exciting because you literally, it's almost impossible to clip it. You have to try really, really hard.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not perfect. It's not like you can't still blow, and especially if you're bringing a low sound up, you can still bring noise back into it.
Yeah, but I mean,
but for most normal stuff,
for 99% of situations, like I've done an example actually with these microphones which are 32-bit, where I'm just talking normally and then I go into full singing voice and it and it just coped with it. So
I didn't know you had a singing voice.
No, well,
you need to tell me more about that.
well, I will.
Yeah.
And karaoke. I think that's what's
Yeah,
next. After this,
sure,
karaoke.
Sure. I've never been, but we'll go for it.
Well, how's your singing voice?
I mean, I wouldn't want to put people through that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more of a talker, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I hear you.
Yeah.
I put in my 2 terabyte card, put it to Red Raw 6K, 24 frames, set it loose, and it went the full distance until the battery stopped, but it was just shy of 2 hours.
Yeah.
There was zero indication of heat.
No.
Now, this is in 21C, right? So not overly hot, because that's because it was winter.
Yeah.
But we've now had official numbers come out from Nikon at 25C, it doing the same thing. And we've also had Nikon talk about the fact that they've put a lot of time and effort and prototyping into the thermal design. This thing is tiny. What can you tell us about like the intention and the outcome?
And also, like a lot of the things you have to think about as well is same processor, same sensor in the Z6 III. So we've kind of had the experience of dealing with heat in the Z6 III. Then we've had the same experience of dealing with the same processor with heat in the Z9 and the Z8. So when it comes to understanding how we could get this to run without the requirement for a fan, all of that testing effectively has taken place in other bodies, but it doesn't mean we obviously haven't tested this. We have, but we've done a lot of that testing over the years with other X-Speed 7 stuff, because when you know how the X-Speed 7 is going to perform in a Z8 and a Z6 III, it's going to perform the same way in a ZR, and when you know how that sensor is going to perform and how it generates heat in a Z6 III, you know how it's going to perform in a ZR. So that instantly gives you all of that groundwork
data
to start from.
That's the starting.
And you also then know how the materials are going to work. So the magnesium alloy that we use in other bodies, the same magnesium alloy that we're using here, you also know how that's going to deal with heat. We also have a much larger backplate because of the larger screen, and the larger backplate is also better at dissipating that heat straightly out the back of the sensor. So all of those things have gone into the consideration of how we can get heat out of this thing as quickly as possible. Now, obviously, if you put it in a situation where it can't get rid of that heat, you wrap it up in a blanket and it can't get rid of that heat, or you put it in a box or whatever, then sure, it's going to get hotter because it's effectively radiating that heat into the atmosphere. But you mentioned you did some tests at 21C. I wanted to do our video for Nikon Europe on glass blowing, and the ambient temperature in that room was 40 degrees C at some points.
Which is about 107 F or something like that.
Thank you. I would not know that conversion. So yeah, so we were ranging about 35 to 40 degrees centigrade. We were in front of ovens. We were filming kind of things coming out, glass, hot air, and we didn't have an overheat warning from the camera. We were shooting that all day, and we were also doing interviews in that where I'm talking to camera. We were shooting B-roll. We were shooting the process of the glass being blown. So they were being used. They weren't just being used at like 4K 25. They were being shot in Red Raw. They were being used for 6K. They were being used for 4K 120. So they were being used as if they were being used properly on a shoot. And the only warnings we got hot cards, but that's testament to the card. It depends on the card you're using. It's not a problem with the camera. It's worth adding that if your card does get hotter, then obviously it increases the temperature in your camera quicker. But we didn't get hot camera warnings, if that makes sense. And that was, kind of a byproduct of what I wanted to do.
And can we, because this is another contentious topic, can you expand a little bit on, because when the Z8 came out, you and I talked about this behind the scenes, how cards are not made the same, and I've even noticed it with some of my cards, and even some of the big names that you'd expect to have the best thermal performance are not necessarily as good as some of my kind of no-name cards or less famous cards. Do we know much about what the manufacturers are doing with their cards, or is it simply a matter of trying to read their specs carefully and hoping that what they're saying is actually correct?
I would spend some
Or is there a standard? Sorry to interrupt.
No, there's not a standard as far as I'm aware when it comes to temperature. And so I would always recommend that you should take some time before buying any cards, that you thoroughly research how well that card performs when it comes to temperature. Because a manufacturer will give you operating temperature, where the card will work in this range of temperature, but it will not give you the temperature the card reaches especially over long periods of time. And the numbers vary drastically. I've seen some cards that will cruise along reading full red raw and sitting at a lovely like 30 to 40 degrees centigrade. And I've seen some cards that will do the same thing and they will ramp straight up to about 90 degrees centigrade, which makes a massive difference.
Sure.
And so I'm not here to say which brand of card or whatever you should buy, but I would always recommend that you would do some research beyond the normal, just looking at one versus the other. Go and do some specific like temperature research about which cards perform best. So there's a number of tests out there. I'm sure you've done some as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're just anecdotal rather than, you know, scientific, and you don't get enough cards.
No.
And I mean, you know, Nikon has their recommended list, but from those, we don't believe that Nikon's gone out to market to test every card.
No, and also the recommended list doesn't necessarily test for temperature.
Because a lot of talking about cards in the past has been about stills, and it's only more recently that we're talking about pushing them with video codecs and then pushing them for...
Well, I mean, even there was some cards that I was using, like the first time I was shooting the Z9, I was using some of the early CF Express cards, and they were overheating from stills.
Yeah, there you go.
And so like that can happen through stills as well, especially on some of the early ones. But really now it is just the video that generally causes a problem.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I recently had a comment, probably in the last 6 months, where someone said, you know, I was shooting a wedding and it was 30 degrees and I was on a Z8 or something, and my card was overheating. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's your card that's overheating. Yeah. So you need to...
It's also worth mentioning as well, which is a really important point, is the reason that there is a hot card warning isn't, so to say, it's not because it's a bad thing. I mean, it is a bad thing, but it's not, the warning isn't there to say that it's a bad thing. The warning is there from a health and safety point of view. So what Nikon don't want you to do is they don't want you to take your memory card out not knowing that it could be hot, and then you either burn yourself or you hurt yourself on a hot card, especially because a lot of them are covered in metal, and you then hurt yourself on that card. So the warning is there to tell you that if you were to remove your card, it would be hot to the touch. That's what the warning is there for.
So it is literally a health and safety warning.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas the hot camera is the one that's saying we're running out of time now.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're completely different. That's very good information. It's good to know.
Yeah.
It's very good to know. It's wonderful to see how my hair is backlit. I've got my Tom Baker Doctor Who frizzy hair look going on today. You know, I've been on holidays for 5 weeks now. You know, we could talk, I think, for hours. There's so much we could talk about, and we probably haven't even touched on this enough, other than to say, by the time you see this video, it's going to be, well...
You'll be home.
Oh, you never know. I don't think I'll have to cut this one, because everything we've said is such gold, except for the bits that we have to cut for you know, security reasons. That's right. That stuff, you'll have to kill me to get me there. Anyway, I'm really excited about Z Cinema. I'm really excited that Nikon took the plunge and went in this direction and purchased a really interesting cinema company. I think in, say, 3 years' time, we're going to have a real sense of what Z Cinema, you know, it'll be fleshed out more. Yeah. And
it's a really exciting time, because we have obviously Z Cinema growing, but we're also we also have a really nice position in our range where, you know, I think we pretty much have most things now that are on X-Speed 7. So it's a really nice position where everything is kind of almost the same in terms of the same focusing options and stuff like that. So it's a really good position to be in.
And actually something that we really need to talk about, I was going to wrap it up, but so some people say Nikon don't care about stills anymore, and I get really upset about that. And I say, have you held a Z9, a Z8, a Z5 II, or a Z6 III recently? Because they are basically some of the best stills tools that you can buy. And have you noticed that you just got a new firmware update for your ZF or your Z8 or your... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And it's like, well, what do you mean they're not being supportive? And you're getting... Like, I don't... You know, people will just say we're Nikon fanboys and you work for Nikon, but and not, I mean, yes, but in real terms, as someone who's been in this industry for 35 years, like the glass we're getting is amazing. We always, you know, how could people possibly say that?
But I mean, to that point, I get it, because if you were someone who isn't in the industry on like a day-to-day basis like we are, what they might see is they might see all of the buzz and all the marketing around ZR. and they might be like, oh, well, you know, Nikon are obviously talking about ZR a lot, but they're not really talking about the camera that I have, or they're not really talking about like my Z8 or my Z6 III. So I can see that. I can see why people might think that because we're talking so much about ZR at the moment, that they might feel like other things are being left behind or whatever. But the testament to why that isn't the case is that obviously Nikon are first and foremost a camera manufacturer. They are, well, first and foremost an optics manufacturer, but first and foremost a camera manufacturer that has been making stills cameras and moved into video cameras that are part of those stills cameras. And the development with RED and Z Cinema is a really exciting time, not only for the technology that it brings from a video point of view, but some of the technology that RED has, global shutters, is also going to be a beneficial technology for stills and the stills side. So sure, if we look at the ZR, it's predominantly
Video-centric, or video first, as we like to say.
But there will also going to be technology that comes the other way that also affects stills, you know. So who knows what that might be in the future. It's in my bag, but no, but in all seriousness, like, who knows what that might be. But yeah, the firmware is the real big kicker, because I think Nikon have done a really good job with firmware. And whether you have a Z9, a Z8, a Z6 III, a ZF, there's been a lot that's been added in firmware to kind of just keep them updated, add in new features, and as a new camera releases with a new feature, that feature's then been brought into other cameras as well. And firmware has been a very vital part of the Nikon camera base, and I would love to believe that firmware will be a very vital part going forward.
You know that you've brought up firmware.
Yes.
And you know what people will be throwing at the screen now, don't you? You know what they'll be wanting to talk about, and you know that you can't talk about what you want them to talk about, because we don't know anything about anything.
We don't know anything.
There's nothing.
Know anything about anything.
So the thing that you're screaming...
I don't even know why I'm here.
No. Well, that's a very metaphysical question.
I mean, I was kidnapped and put in the back of a van. And
yeah. I've got a lot of gaffer tape. He requires a lot of gaffer. He's very strong.
Yeah.
Yes. So the answer to that question is we know nothing.
What I would say is that the ongoing development with firmware, and we know all of the requests. So there's lots of requests and lots of changes that people want to see in firmware, and Nikon is aware of all of those. And some of them are easier than others. Some of them are easier than others to employ. And yeah, eventually we want to be in a position where we make a camera that has everything that everyone wants that to do.
Yes.
Whether or not that's ever going to be possible, I don't know. But
yeah,
you know,
no.
There's always going to be something missing from something, wherever. So yeah.
I definitely don't know either.
No.
I have no idea, but I do have a ZR in my hand, and that's very exciting. There's so many questions, Ricci. I'll have to come back to London just to...
Yeah, no, definitely. I'd also love to show you more of the UK.
Yes. Well, we're going to do the Scotland tour next time.
Yeah,
what was it called? The 500 miles. Is that what they called
so
it?
there's a thing called the NC 500, which people from the UK will know, and it's basically like a nice trip around the coast. I would personally recommend going to some slightly different places, especially from a photography point of view.
Oh, you're the boss.
The NC 500 was designed for like good driving roads. But yeah, we could do Scotland, the Lake District, the Peak District. We could do the New Forest down on the south, which is really nice. We could do some of the coastlines. We've also got tons of seabirds and tons of islands we could visit. There's some really nice islands off the coast of Scotland that have incredible close-up opportunities with seabirds like puffins and stuff like that. But you have to come at the right time of year for things like that. So
it sounds like we need to do the Ricci and Matt road tour.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll drive.
Okay. I know how we drive on the same side.
Yeah.
No, you can drive.
Yeah.
I'll shoot. That makes sense because you've shot it before. Plus, not that we're going to talk about cars here, but you know how to drive well.
I can drive well
because you've got a car that's a bit fast.
A bit, yes.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
It goes over 40 miles an hour.
Does it?
Well, I believe so.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that would be something like that would be amazing if you find the time to come back. Or I could also visit you as well.
Well, we could do the.
I'll stop off at Singapore on the way, and then see
Bobby.
Yeah, Singapore has been a place I visited in the past a few times, and I truly love it.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
It's a wonderful place. But I've never gone all the way.
What do you love about it? Is it? Have you never been to Australia?
No, I've never been. Never been. I've always wanted to go to Australia and New Zealand. I mean, if you have someone at Nikon Australia who wants me to invite over, I'll be there. We could do like an event with Nikon Australia.
Yeah.
And we could do a bit with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well happy to do that.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
I'll talk to people. You'll talk to people.
Yeah.
We'll talk to people.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Can we just? That guy can definitely help us.
But yeah, no, I've always wanted to do Australia and New Zealand. I've not been to either.
You got to go see the Hobbits.
Yeah.
You got Hobbiton.
Yeah. Always wanted to do, especially just on a landscape point of view, and Australia from the wildlife point of view as well.
So
Yeah.
I've been to New Zealand a few times, and you get in your car and you get up to speed, and then you go around another. It's like I got to stop. There's another epic
another
view,
shot.
and you literally get about 2 minutes, and it takes you. And drive that should be 2 hours takes 10 hours. It's literally that good.
I can imagine.
I mean, they shot Lord of the Rings there. I mean, how can it not be? Ricci, it's been an amazing pleasure.
Been a pleasure to meet you in person.
It's so good to finally do this after years and years.
Yeah.
Thank you to you guys. If you have any questions for either of us, I'm sure we will
in the comments.
Yeah, we'll literally sit there in the zeros and ones just waiting.
And we'll also properly organize another like live when you're back home and you've rested and stuff.
We've been talking about this for 2 years, but now that I've got you here in person, I'm going to hold you to that.
It is probably my fault.
No,
I've been traveling a lot.
Time zones is a real because
the problem.
Because now in Australia it's like 8 a.m. or something.
Yeah, the time that we usually used in the past.
1:30 for you.
Yeah, it was like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, but it was your morning time, and then it was like midday almost for Seth.
It's always fun for Seth because he just says I can only do it after work, so it's 7 p.m. So we have to work around you, Seth. We have to work around you. We need to go eat. I'm really hungry. I'm getting a sugar low. So thank you so much for watching. We'll get this man back soon. Yeah. He's a Nikon legend and a great, and now that I've met him, I know for real a great bloke in his own right.
Thanks.
Because we've been walking along the Thames here for I don't know how long. How long has it been now?
It's been a while. I mean, we met at
four hours. So I know everything about him at this point in time.
Yes.
None of it which I can ever repeat.
No.
Okay.
No.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.
It's always about a girl, but this one, she might just save me from my fragile mind as it starts to waste my time on red flags, past wounds and maybes. Oh, maybe.
No way, it's too out of clock, man.
Keep it moving till you're ready to go.
No way, you're wasting it out, man.
Keep it moving till you're ready to go.
No way, it's too out of clock, man.
Keep it moving till you're ready to go.
No way, you're wasting it out, man.
Keep it moving till you're ready to go. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good. I just wanna feel good, no. I just wanna feel good.
Rollin', Z8 firmware rollin', keep that firmware rollin', Nikon. Through rain and wind and weather, my Z8's getting better. Wishing my Zs were by my side. The buffer, it never gets too high. Ride 'em in Nikon.